Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 60!
Okay, as we mentioned, this is our 60th episode.
Yeah.
So I know it's been quite a while we actually tell story.
Yeah.
So today we are back with 5 stories, but it happened in one location. And it's...
Khatib.
Hey, what happened lah?
I also no idea lah. Now the lights okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, naman. Sorry for that guys. The title of today's episode is
Haunted Khatib.
Okay, the first story happened in 1999 when we newly shifted to our previous home lah. So what happened was it was around night time, so I wanted to use the bathroom, but my dad just came back from work at that point of time, so he was using the common toilet. So I had to go to the master bedroom to use the toilet lah. So what happened was the TV was switched on in the hall, so my mom should be watching her TV shows and all that lah. My brother wasn't at home, so from my room I went straight to the master bedroom and I switched on the toilet light lah. So like now all of us we have LED light and all that. So once you switch on, immediately on. At that time was those fluorescent bulb, you know. So it takes some time to like totally switch on. So at the first few flickers, right, totally freaked me out because there was a shadow of what seemed to be like of my mother's inside the bathroom. So it was like the shadow was just standing there, but the hair was a bit messy and just standing there, not coming out of the toilet. So I was like, what's going on? And the flickers were quite frequent. It didn't really turn on immediately, you know. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I was like, Amma. The shadow was still on the floor. Can still see like just standing still. Then the light stopped flickering and it turned on finally. The shadow was still there. Yeah. So I was like going slowly lah. I was just going slowly to see what's going on lah. Then somebody tapped me here. So I thought it was my dad. When he went to shower, right? So I was like, no, wait, like that. So again tap. When I turned right, it was my mother. I said, what happened? Faster like, Amma want to use toilet. Then when I look back at the toilet, right, the shadow was gone.
Okay.
Yeah. I faster rushed into the toilet to see. There was nothing. That one was really freaky because I don't know what happened at that point of time. Like, I know that I didn't imagine this thing. It was literally there, a shadow on the floor. Then I on the light. I forgot about using the toilet. I was sharing with my mother what happened. My mother was like, cannot be lah, you don't scare me lah, later I'm going to sleep, no, and all that. I just kept quiet lah after that. But after that incident, that kind of thing never happened again lah. Okay, this next story happened few years later. Okay, so I was like, I was very frequent in playing white tag soccer and all that lah, with my friends and all that. So I used to walk back my friends, like some of them from the same neighborhood, so we'll walk them back home, then come back lah. So I remember this was like around 9 o'clock or somewhere around there. So those staying in Khatib, Street 81, you all should know lah. Before it was a skate park and a street soccer court, it was just an empty field back then lah. So I used to just walk across the field, you know, just walk across like nothing, just like any other normal day. But what happened was, this time around when I was walking on the grass patch, right, it was not like I was walking on flat grass patch. It was like a lot of humps, like as though people put landmines or what, no? I really don't know. So it's like a lot of humps. So when I look, like, in the dark, you can still figure out something you're looking at. So there was like a lot of like bumps on the way. So I was thinking, what's going on? Then in the darkness also, right, I could see like some things were like protruding out from the ground. Hey, like don't know what's going on. So I happened to actually step on something, like, and I heard like a creak. Like I broke something, you know. So I thought twigs or what lah, branch or what. But surrounding the field, there's no tree.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I was looking at lah. So I took out my shoe and I looked closely, right. There was this dead crow which resurfaced from the ground because I stepped on its foot, foot or paw, I think foot lah, on its feet. So the whole body was like up a bit.
It came up.
Yeah. I freaked out because it was something which I didn't want to see because it didn't have eyeballs or anything. So like I ran away lah. Actually I ran away. So what happened was early in the morning, I called my brother. I woke him up. I said, no, I saw something very creepy lah. There was like this dead crow buried, and then when I stepped the feet or what, it came up. I said, hey, really? Let's go see lah. I said, okay lah, come, let's go see. So it was early in the morning, so we sneaked out of the house to actually go lah. So my dad had this army torchlight. So it's in those army people will know lah. It's to click on here. It will be straight. Then it has like a bend here, no. So like you can just it will shine lah. So we borrowed it a while, and when we went there, right, there was not only one crow, but half the field was actually buried with these crows.
Serious?
Yeah, because underneath the ground of the bumps, right, we could see the feet sticking out, the beak sticking out.
Why?
I don't know. So it was like a pet cemetery, crow graveyard lah, I would say lah. Because like it was all the crows. So what happened beside us was at that point of time didn't have the CC. Didn't have the multi-story car park beside us, so it was like all empty field. So I just called 999 lah, because at that point of time we didn't know what to do.
Then?
We didn't know what to do, so we just called lah. Say that there's something weird going on here, so the police came and actually checked. After that, what happened was, we come to find out there was a lot of nuisance created by these crows. So people were arranged to actually kill them. But then what we heard was they illegally buried on this grass patch. So we don't know how far it's true lah. This was not told by the police lah. This was like the surrounding people telling. But what was weird was everyone was telling the same story. So this could have happened. Maybe the bodies could have been taken out around the afternoon when we were at school or something like that lah. That is not a ghost story, but it was very creepy to have actually like
to see.
Yeah, like a graveyard, mini graveyard like that. And this is like beside my block. Terrible. And this third story which I'm going to share is very disturbing, like I would say, because it was many sleepless nights me and my dad had actually. So Khatib, the house, right? In front of the house is, you see this big multi-story car park, right? Last time, as I mentioned earlier, there was no CC, there was no multi-story car park. It was just a field. We used to play soccer there and all that. Then suddenly they decided to divide the field by putting a pathway first. Then they worked on the car park. So we were like, okay, there's no more view already, nice fresh air coming in already. no more already. So what happened was, they were doing this multi-story car park. I was like, okay, so now we have to go to the other side to play soccer lah, like that. So as they were doing, right, they were doing this, they finished up the staircase works, everything. Then they were doing elevators. So we were like, at that point of time, it was something new to us, because multi-story car park with lifts, no, what, it's always take staircase, what, something new. I was like, okay, and all that. So these elevators, they made the partition for it, was facing us, directly, so we could see everything happening there. So first they put the fake wall lah, keep away and all that kind of thing. So I remember this was a evening which happened lah. My dad and my brother, we were watching TV at home, where all of a sudden, right, we heard this very loud scream, and the scream was like falling from somewhere high, so it was like, and we heard like a loud boom lah. So we didn't know what happened and all that, but all we saw was the construction workers and all that, all were gathering at the lift, the ground level lift landing. And of all this, right, they haven't installed the lift yet, so whoever fell from inside there's nothing actually, so he could have tripped and fall over or what, so the police came, the ambulance came and all that. Sadly, the person who fell was a Bangladeshi and he didn't survive. He actually died on the spot lah. So the constructions was stopped for a while because there was no safety measures for the guy and all that. So practically 1 year, no work was held. So it was just left abandoned like that. The car park was up and running lah, but the lift was not installed and all that. So whenever we used to go to before Sheng Siong, again Khatib have Sheng Siong, right? Before Sheng Siong was ABC Prime Market.
Okay.
Prime Supermart, sorry. So those living in Khatib will know lah. So whenever I and my dad, we want to go to the supermart to buy some items and all that, we'll pass by this car park lah, walk through it. Every time we notice that the fake wall, the door, they will just chain like beware, keep away and all that, it will be chained up lah. But surprisingly, this day wasn't chained up. So my father, he just opened to see lah, and we actually got a shock of our lives. The guy who fell, right, his blood was still there on the ground level.
Oh, you went to see.
Yeah, because at the bottom of the lift pit, right, they actually put sand. So he actually fell on the sand. He hit hard, and there was blood splattered on the wall and on the sand. So these guys, right, they didn't even clear away the sand. They didn't even do anything. They just dropped whatever happened, and when it happened, right, they just dropped everything and ciao. Literally. So it was like, we creeped out lah because it was blood. My father can't see blood and all that lah, so he faster go. We buy our things already, we come back. But ever since then, right, whenever me and my father watching TV, since the balcony is facing the car park, very often we could see someone very dark standing at our level, just like looking at us. Yes, like very creepy. Then whenever I look, right, my father will be like, don't see there. I was like, okay. So like, my father smokes lah, so last time he used to smoke at the balcony. But I don't know what happened. Ever since that kind of thing happened, right, he always go to his room to smoke. And it's like, until we were there lah, until we were staying there, that person's presence can be still felt either at the top level of the car park or at the lift landing area. And if I'm not wrong, right, he stands at the 5th level. The 5th level of the lift landing. Now the lift is up and going well lah, but his presence is still felt around the area. So I think he was too young to go off or what, that his presence is there lah.
Okay, so this one is actually explained by both of us.
Yeah.
So what happened actually, I went to his house. So I actually was slacking for a while lah before I go back home. So I know it was like not even midnight yet. It was still about 10 plus around there. So I was in the room talking to him, and then suddenly we hear like somebody is walking. So usually his mother wears slippers and she walks with the slippers. So whenever we hear the slipper, we know it's her lah. So she was like, our doors was closed, so she came to our door and then walked to the, what do you call that, the dining area lah. There's a window there. So when she was walking, right, we heard like humming a song, you know, like that kind of thing. So it was like, okay.
It was something new lah, because my mom doesn't sing. But the slipper sound and all that, we heard my mom lah.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, your mother is, I think, singing a song. Then it was like, So she closed the window, and when she passed by, she has to pass by our room lah. And then her humming was quite loud. So it was like, okay. Then after that we talked already, then I went back home. Then after that, what happened next day, usually after work, evening, I'll come and meet him up. So I go to his house, and then I reminded him to ask his mom, say that, hey, check with your mom lah, like, you know, yesterday did she hum or not? Because I felt a bit weird. So he did check with his mother, and then he said, Ma, yesterday were you like humming or not? Then her mother looked, no. Then he was like, no. Then he asked like, no, were you like singing song or, you know? No. So he was like, so who was humming a song?
Yeah. Because the only one who wears slipper is my mother only. So humming and the voice also belongs to her.
Yeah, it was a girl voice. And at the point of time, I know father was asleep and there was no one. His brother was not at home, so only me, him and his mom. So it was like kinda like a bit weird lah.
Yeah, because like who else could it have been? It cannot be my father.
No,
So
it was a female
yeah,
voice.
it's a female voice. So when we told this to my mother, right, she was like not believing lah. Not believing. Then we like, okay, never mind lah, just leave it lah. Alright, so we have come to the final story, and this was solely experienced by her. I was not in the picture, which happened in my house, my previous house lah in Khatib.
Okay, so once upon a time. Once upon a time. Okay, so once upon a time, once we ROM, I was staying in his house. So what actually happened, this I really creep out. I think it was about maybe 3 to 4 a.m. Okay, so I actually woke up to go to the toilet. His room to the toilet is quite far. His kitchen, even though it's maybe near, for me it's like very far lah, you know. So I actually woke him up to follow me to the toilet, but I didn't wake up. So I was like, ayo, very high tide. Okay, so I opened the door slowly and I went to the toilet. So I don't know what happened. I think I went to change. I actually changed my clothes. I don't know why. I changed my clothes, and then to the toilet. In front, outside is their kitchen. So their laundry basket is there. So it was very dark. Okay, nobody was awake. Okay, so once I come out of the toilet, I took my clothes. I went and put in the laundry basket. So when I put a laundry basket, you will look down, right? When I looked down with the toilet light on, right, I saw 2 legs were standing there. Okay, So I thought maybe the parents or what, but when I put and I was seeing, the legs were not normal. They were all rotten legs.
Rotten legs.
Yeah. It's like the skin was like really peeled and that kind of thing, and was very white. So I was like, okay, I was freezing there, and I throw, and then I quickly off the light and I came back to the room. And then I didn't woke him up and tell also. And after that I just slept it off. Yeah. So until now, it's something that if you ask me what's bothering me, is that's the thing. It's not a dream, or I'm not over exaggerating or what, but this really happened to me. Yeah.
So guys, not only Khatib can be haunted lah. There are many areas in Singapore can be haunted, because majority of the places we are all living in now
Last time.
cemeteries or practically unknown. We don't know what happened, what is the history. So
I think we have shared in our previous episode about
so
it.
everyone like to make fun lah. Yishun very notorious and all that. Khatib also can be notorious. Haunted Khatib.
Okay, so we have come to the end of the episode. We'll catch up with the next one. So until then, signing off, Varsha.
Anju, chaps.